Alrighty gang, we got a major storm brewing. Look at weather models just blow this thing up over the plains late Friday into Saturday. It's impressively strong. It is sucking in a lot of air because it's so deep, so intense. And all that sucking in of air means a lot of wind, widespread winds of like 30 to 50 miles per hour, a few folks gusting over 60 across the central and the southern states. But we're also expecting basically the worst of every season with this storm. Severe weather and tornadoes on the warm side, possible winter weather and a blizzard on the cold side. Flooding rains for some, and then critical to extreme wildfire concerns across Texas, Oklahoma, and New Mexico too. In this video, we'll break down what we know about the late week storm and who could get what. If you haven't already, follow me on all social media platforms. So diving in right now, the instigating system, or upper level low, is actually southwest of Alaska right now, near the Bering Strait. It's a pocket of cold air, low pressure, and spin. You see that broad counterclockwise swirl right here on the water vapor satellite? That's our instigating energy. Over the next 72 hours, it dives southeast over California and the Intermountain West. Then look at this, Thursday and Friday, here it comes across the central states. Now you see that upper level low, by the time it gets here, has something we call a negative tilt. It's like an atmospheric backslash. It's slanted like this. Think of a soccer player kicking a ball. As they follow through, there's more kick. Same thing here. The system has a lot of kick. By Thursday night to Friday, it starts lifting air up and away from the ground, causing a surface low to form east of the Rockies, maybe over eastern Colorado, northwest Kansas, Nebraska, somewhere in there. And that surface low quickly strengthens and becomes our main storm. You see a bunch of L's right here. We're not sure where in this broader envelope our low center will actually be. But we do know if it shifts a little farther west or east, things could change. Regardless though, for everybody, Thursday night to Friday, the weather really starts to ramp up. Now remember, the thing is spinning counterclockwise. That means to the east, we're pulling north warmth and moisture, but on the backside, we're pulling down cool, dry air. That means two things: storms and fire weather. Now out ahead of the system, we're pumping north that instability, or thunderstorm fuel. It's warm, it's humid, we juice up the atmosphere, we get severe weather. But we're not sure that thunderstorm fuel, the instability, reaches all the way north towards like Iowa or even Wisconsin. Within this thunderstorm fuel, we'll see thunderstorms sprout. And with the jet stream just screaming overhead, there's a lot of wind energy, we could be talking tornadoes. The Storm Prediction Center has already drawn a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk for Friday. I'd say Little Rock to Memphis to St. Louis, that's the best risk of higher end severe weather. But we could see a risk all the way north towards the Corn Belt, but again, less instability, a little more uncertainty. Then on Saturday, the risk moves into the deep south, so Mississippi and Alabama. We could be talking a squall line with destructive straight line winds or rotating tornadic supercells. Which forms remains to be seen. Now behind the storm over like New Mexico and Texas, we have bone dry air sweeping in from the west out of the desert southwest. That comes in on strong winds like 35 to 45 miles per hour across much of West Texas. The Llano Estacado, eastern New Mexico really ramps up after lunchtime on Friday, and we could see few gusts to 50 or 60 miles per hour, especially along the Texas-New Mexico border. That's why there's already a critical risk in red for wildfire danger. It includes Oklahoma too. Then on Saturday, it's more like the Permian Basin and especially the Edwards Plateau. Now we're not done yet. Friday into Saturday, we'll see moisture pinwheel up and around the low onto the cold side, falling as snow in like northern Nebraska, the Dakotas, and maybe Minnesota too. We're still not sure exactly how much will come down, but this model does show a plowable snow for a lot of people. Don't pay attention to specific amounts. This will kind of shift and wishy-washy back and forth, but regardless, somebody will see plowable snow. The bigger deal though, look at these wind gusts. 40, 50 plus miles per hour for a lot of folks, meaning once the snow has stopped falling, the ground blizzard continues because we're picking up and lofting that freshly fallen snow into Saturday too, especially for the Dakotas. With those gusts over 50, it's going to be an absolutely nasty couple days. But wait, there's more. Farther east across the Tennessee Valley and the Appalachians, the Weather Prediction Center has drawn a big area in green where there's a potential for heavy rain and or flooding. You see widespread totals of 2 to 4 inches, maybe a few folks approaching 5-6 inches. By then, our low pressure will be dragging a cold front east into the Tennessee Valley and maybe the Midwest too. By then, our low will have dragged a cold front towards like the Tennessee Valley and the Midwest. The issue with that is that our mid-level winds will be parallel to the front, boundary parallel flow, which is a recipe for flash flooding. The reason being, the front is that trigger for downpours. It's like wringing out all the moisture out of the air, and we got moisture streaming along it, for which reason we just completely replenish that moist air mass time and time again, and we get downpours for a while. You can see right here all that rich Gulf moisture working northeastwards. Now, a lot to track. We still have 4 or 5 more days until this really gets going, but please stay tuned to the MyRadar app. This encompasses a lot of people, whether you're traveling, staying in place, regardless, it's something you want to pay attention to. Fortunately, we've got you covered every step of the way.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, and Windows.